Okay, so we just hit take profit. As you can see right here, 30k in the bag from one trade. And it paid for my entire London trip itself. Flights, hotel, food, everything covered in just one trade. And the real flex is that I did not over leverage. I did not gamble. I followed my system, risked 1% per trade, stayed disciplined, and just let the setup play out. That's really the power of trading with rules, not emotions. Alright, you sodden brokies. Your boy is back from London, innit? So, we're here in the markets again, ready to get another 6-figure month. It was a well-deserved break, not gonna lie, but it feels good to be back, man. It feels good to be sitting in front of my studio display monitor and just be analyzing the charts, just looking at how beautiful my girlfriend is. Anyways, let's jump down to Euro USD, right? So over here you can see we have saw that the bearish order flow on the lower time frames has pretty much shifted bearish, right? You can see a market shift right now. So I'm just waiting for price to pull back to this flip zone right here, right? You can see this supply caused this demand to fail. So this is where we know that supply is stepping into the market to cause price to go down even further. So if I go down to the 1 minute time frame, gonna be scalping this one right here, not gonna let it get away. You can see that this flip zone actually swept liquidity, right? You can see there was a failed reaction right here, price came up there, swept liquidity before price goes down, right? So this clearly indicates some form of institutional movement, right? So right now all I'm waiting to do is just wait for price to pull back to this flip zone that swept liquidity, and I'm also looking for price to sweep some available liquidity above this swing high here as well. Once that actually happens, then that is where I'll make my entry, and then I'll take profit at the next 15-minute demand as usual, right? So patience is the name of the game. Just gotta be waiting right now and just not doing anything. You can see right here price is like starting to go down. I'm not getting FOMO whatsoever because this is not the price that I want to actually enter at. I want to trade with precision. I want to enter at the best timing possible. Alright, so quick little update. We haven't actually got tapped into the trade yet. Price made a huge move to the downside. But honestly, I don't think that price is going to go down anymore because I just feel like it did not swap any form of liquidity whatsoever, right? If you look at this, it didn't swap any liquidity, right? It just did this and it just started dumping. So this is most likely just an inducement, right? I think this is so that we can induce the retail traders to enter for a sell early, just to build up some liquidity above these highs right here, which will be swept soon before the real move actually happens, right? So that's pretty much how I feel. Remember, the market needs some form of liquidity, needs some form of strong liquidation before the real move can actually happen. Right now, it just doesn't have that fuel, right? I just know for a fact that my patience will pay off in the end. So yeah, for now, we just continue, wait for price to come up into this zone right here. And then we can look for our entry. Okay, so quick little update on the trade. After what feels like goddamn forever, we finally got tapped into the trade, right? So in this case, we actually did not enter for a sell when price mitigated this point of interest here because price just blasted right through it, right? So what happened was that price went up, tapped into this extreme zone, swept the available liquidity above this swing high right here, above this inducement. So once that actually happened, pretty much look for my liquidation candle, which is this candle itself, right? This is the 15-minute candlestick that swept liquidity, waited for that to close, and then we place our sell stop order right below the liquidation candle itself. So finally got time into the trade, right? So this is a pretty nice trade because what happened was that we got price mitigating our extreme point of interest, right? The last line of defense where we know that there was a bunch of supply stepping into the market. We also got price sweeping this 5-minute inducement that we have up here, right? This little swing high right here, this failed reaction. And on top of that, we also got a market shift right here, right? Which pretty much validated that the internal order flow is already bearish. So you can see I pretty much waited for multiple confluences before I actually look for the trade itself, right? So yeah, just enter over here, place my stop loss above the flip zone itself, right? Above this point of interest, which doesn't really make sense now that I think about it, because I probably want to place it above this swing high right here. You know what, let me just go ahead and move that above that swing high. Yeah, or rather above this liquidation candle itself. Alright, so yeah, this would pretty much be how I actually manage the trade itself, right? Just set and forget, because honestly, based on my experience alone, I've already taken about 1,000 trades by now and spent about 10,000 hours trying to master the skill set of trading. Set and forget is genuinely the best way to go about managing a trade. Trust me, I've tried taking partial profits, I've tried trading stop loss. Bro, end of the day, man, set and forget is the one that really allowed me to be the most profitable. And once again, just to remind you guys, right, in my playbook, there's a rule that says that I must have some form of strong liquidation before I actually enter for the trade itself. That is why over here, there was no strong liquidation whatsoever, right? Price was just continuously creating higher highs, high lows. Internal order flow was still bullish and was still making that pullback. And then once price came up to this zone right here, then it swept this liquidity. We got a strong liquidation right here. Then we finally make our entry, right? So once again, no liquidity sweep, no entry. That is why I didn't enter for a sell here or here whatsoever. Because over here, once again, look at this. They was just creating lower high, lower lows, right? Normal price action shit. No strong liquidation whatsoever. So the keyword for today is strong liquidation. And yeah, now after the strong liquidation, volume is on our side, momentum is on our side. You can see lots more of supply is stepping into the market right now. And if I want to refine my stop loss, right, make it a little bit tighter, make my entry a little bit better, I will potentially move my stop loss above this high right here, above this fractal lower high right here. And then just place my take profit right there. Right, but because of the fact that this is like a set and forget trade, I'm just gonna leave the stop loss as it is right here until we create some form of internal structure. Then I'll start like even considering about moving it. Yo, feels good to be back, man. Genuinely, it feels so good to be back in the markets, bro. Feels so good to be back winning. Like sometimes you just gotta take your mind off things in order to come back to the markets with a clear and focused mind. This is why I don't recommend you guys trading 24/7, 7 days a week, because you're just gonna burn out and then you're just gonna start getting analysis paralysis. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that. I used to literally stare at the charts from morning until the time that I go to bed, right? And sometimes I would like just continue staring at the charts until like fucking 2 a.m. and just not sleep at all. And I end up waking the next day groggy and I fail to see what the market is actually showing me. What's the objective of price? And I just end up losing even more money. So please, for the love of God, prioritize sleep, prioritize your mental health, because the market is a reflection of you. For real, you must understand that you don't have a trading problem. You most likely have a you problem. Most traders think that they are battling the charts or battling smart money going against hedge funds. But the truth is, the charts are just a mirror. They reflect back your discipline, your patience, your fears, and your ego. If you are emotional and impulsive in life, you're going to be impulsive in trades. If you are always seeking shortcuts, searching for instant gratification, you will keep on hopping from one strategy to another strategy, hoping to find the holy grail. And most importantly, if you lack emotional control, the market will expose that in seconds. Because every blown account, every revenge trade, every missed setup, it's never about the strategy. It's always about you. Your mindset, your habits, your self-awareness. And the truth is, you don't need another trading strategy. You don't need to join a signal group. You just need to confront yourself. And that's the most difficult thing to do. But trust me when I say that the hardest path, the path with the most resistance, is always going to be the path that you need to take in order to succeed in life or in trading. Because once you master you develop your mental edge, trading becomes ridiculously simple. It's all about just executing your strategy to the best of your ability every single day and just following literally a set of simple rules. That's why I always say that trading is simple, but it's not easy because you need to master you. And mastering you is generally the most difficult part about trading. Yo, what? I was literally away from my computer for like 5 minutes. And a lot of you guys always ask me, what happens when price is near take profit but it starts reversing just like this? My advice is test out based on data, right? Because sometimes what happens is that if you take profit early, right? Like for example, price reverse over here and you end up taking profit right here. Now your risk to reward is ruined, right? So instead of 1:2 risk to reward, you're taking profit right here. So that becomes like a 1:7 risk to reward. And if you're constantly taking profits early, but your losses are always 1%, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to be consistently profitable. Simply because your actions are not consistent, right? So what I personally do is that I just let it run, right? I just let it run all the way down to my take profit. But once again, like I said, the only reason why I can do that is because I have data that prove that my take profit is usually right. Not all the time, but it's usually right. So this is just a matter of, me trusting my edge. I truly have confidence in my edge. Like I've done the preparation, the research, the analysis. I've placed my take profit at the right place. Why would I like move it just because, the market is showing some form of pullback? Okay, so we just hit take profit. As you can see right here, 30K in the bag from one trade. And it paid for my entire London trip itself. Flights, hotel, food, everything covered in just one trade. And the real flex is that I did not over leverage. I did not gamble. I followed my system, risked 1% per trade, stayed disciplined, and just let the setup play out. That's really the power of trading with rules, not emotions. Honestly, guys, I could have take profit much more faster. Like I was literally one pip away from my take profit and price started reversing last night. And this is when, you start to get this dilemma of whether to take profit because price is reversing near your take profit, or should you just let it run. Because if you did take profit, I would have made like, 29K last night. But then I let it run, so I make that extra 1K or so, if my math adds up, today, right? And you must ask yourself, is that really worth it? And that is when my best advice is, do not let emotions rob you of your edge. If price reverse a few pips away from your take profit, do not panic, right? Because your job as a trader is not to predict what price does perfectly every single time. It's to execute consistently. And if you keep closing a trade early out of fear, you're not trading a system. You are genuinely just trading with your emotions. So my best advice is stick to the plan and just let the data play out. Right? Find out which management method works the best for you, right? Whether, it's much more better or much more profitable for you to take profit early when price starts reversing against you, or just let price do its thing and just always take profit once price hit the desired price that you should be getting out of, right? So once again, gather sufficient data, test this out, and then just refine your edge from there. That's generally how you build long-term consistency.